So hi and welcome to the Firefly Adda, the virtual conversation starter. A platform where we actually sort of emphasize and focus on bringing in some thought-provoking discussions, some deep insights, and some amazing, learning. And in today's episode, we actually talk about the strategies around digital marketing, and who better than Roy? So Roy is actually the digital marketing head for an agency called Earflog. Welcome, Roy, to the Firefly Adda.
Thanks, Kush. Thanks for the time.
So wonderful having you here, Roy, during these adverse situations. So I think the insights that we're actually going to, share and the discussions that we're going to have are actually going to, bring out some great learnings for our audience here. So I think to begin with, we need to actually emphasize on the topic of discussion today, which is digital marketing. So, Roy, what according to you is the most paramount aspect around digital marketing, these days? So can you actually, shed some light on that?
Sure. So, as you know, you are into the same field, right? And all of a sudden, there has been a huge pressure on the digital team across industry, across companies, across verticals on delivering something really interesting, really good. Making the most out of the situation. Okay. Uh, but again, all of a sudden, when you are not ready with a strategy, like nobody could be ready with a strategy for COVID-19 situation. Nobody had any idea. No industry could prepare for that. So what I'm seeing here, rather than finding a new strategy to cope up with the situation, a lot of companies are sticking to their old styles or strategies. I understand it's not possible to change your strategy overnight, but I believe that it is high time that you should have taken the step, read the situation, and taken up a new strategy on how to move forward according to your industry. What do you think?
Absolutely, Roy. So I actually come from a B2B organization myself, and I actually take care of digital marketing for my own organization. And like you mentioned, it is actually a lift and shift sort of a proposition, right? So nobody was actually prepared for this pandemic. It actually sort of, came up, and it was totally unforeseen. So we had to do that lifting and shifting and making sure that our strategies are looked at. Realignment comes into the fore, and making sure that we focus on elements which are now going to actually move the digital way, because India as a market, I mean, that's the market that we focus on, is not really digitally perceived in the right mindset, as you can actually say. The strategies that people actually have even today in India are actually more physically aligned rather than digital. So we had to actually re-strategize, realign, do some course corrections, and ensure that we actually keep the ship moving. So yeah, so it has been quite a big shift, but we are actually learning on the go and evolving and picking things up.
I absolutely agree with you when you say India is as a market in the digital media is completely different. They uh, India still wants that social distancing is not the norm for India, right?
It's not.
Yeah, so we prefer to be see everybody in person, talk to them, shake our hands.
Yeah.
Even though Namaste is an Indian thing, but we are really not the kind of a person like on the to focus on Namaste. Uh, but yes, with the digital, see now what is happening here. All of a sudden, you will see uh, so this is how I'm reading the market right now. Okay, a lot of content developers is coming to the market all of a sudden. Okay, they're developing content, they're using YouTube, but that started a little late actually if you look at it. So couple of people who had been producing content for the web, they have been doing it, they know what they're doing, and the market was just right for them, right? And all of a sudden some few people, new people came into this just after seeing them, that okay, these guys are doing this in this pandemic situation, why shouldn't we?
Yeah.
Okay, they started coming into the forefront. Now I'm not saying all of them will be successful or unsuccessful, we don't know, the time will say about that. But yes, this I can see that those who are sitting at home, planning, I should do that, I should do that, I should do that, they have come forefront, and
Yeah.
that can trigger a massive change in the way that the digital platform works in India in near future, and it is directly going to impact the marketing strategies coming forward.
So absolutely. So as they say, digital marketing is going to be the new normal going forward. And with the advent of this pandemic, I think more and more of the marketing campaigns are actually going to be shifted towards the digital side rather than the physical side. So I think the budgets which are actually allocated also would actually sort of align more on the digital strategies rather than the physical sort of strategies that people or the enterprises or the businesses really have. Yeah.
True, absolutely true. So, for example, say for example, one of the major initiatives that so let's talk about B2B companies. Okay, so we both work into the same industry in that space, so it will be better for us if we talk about that. So for B2B industries, event was one of the major pull, right,
Yeah.
for sales pipeline and everything, the physical events. Now you can't do that. So what are other options that you have? But the question here is, the first question here is, it's not about what we are doing, that's the vehicle, right? How I
Hmm.
am trying to reach somewhere. Now let's first think about the destination, right? So what I want to do as a company right now, what is my priority? Is it my priority to push sales pipeline? Is it my priority retention? Okay, or what is my priority, what I'm trying to look at? Do I have the bandwidth? See, if I'm looking at more sales right now in this situation, do I have the bandwidth to support those sales? Does my target market have the money in bank to support it, to make a new purchase, right? So that these two questions becomes very important. So if these two questions are answered at the first place by any company, if they can answer it clearly, then how to reach there, whether I'm taking a bus, I'm taking a train, or I'm taking a plane to reach
Hmm.
Delhi, it becomes much more easier when you have the goals defined, whether you
Hmm.
want to go to Delhi or you want to go to Kormangla.
But then again, to this point, this would actually depend on different industry verticals. For example, tourism and hospitality industry will actually have a different sort of objective versus maybe an ITS company. So don't you think every industry vertical will actually have a different strategy?
Absolutely, it has to be.
Yeah.
Not just every industry, every player,
Hmm.
every organization. It's if, for example, you are in the industry, you are in the hospitality, and situation is bad, and
Yep.
don't see anything coming out very soon. You have already invested everywhere. Let's
Yep.
look at Oyo today, right?
Yep.
They're into pretty bad shape, right?
Yes.
And they have already invested so much. They are Titanics.
Hmm.
To move from left to right will take them huge amount of time, right? Even if I look at the small players, they also have a similar problem of manpower, of the
Yep.
investment they have
Yep.
already done, and they don't see anything coming up very soon. Okay, but those who can hold onto this time, okay, if they have good rapport with their team members, if anything, I don't know what is the current situation,
Hmm.
but this can be actually a good time for them to build the community rather than sitting and crying,
Yep.
because they cannot do anything about it,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
But if they want, they can build the community, they can communicate far better with their target market.
Hmm.
Just go to define social media networks, talk to the people, identify the people, empathize with them. That is the most important word today, empathize, and create the situation around it. I am sure if you are a travel organizer, or if
Hmm.
you have a place that you rent out, okay, so you have images, you have content, you know that place, right? So it's normally you don't get this time to
Yep.
to your to create build a
Hmm.
relationship with your target audience, right?
Yes.
But there couldn't be any better time for
Hmm.
you.
So basically, industry to industry, there would either be retention strategies, there would rather be sales acceleration strategies. So it all actually depends on different industry verticals, is what you're actually saying. Yeah.
Correct. Say, for example, Zoom.
Hmm.
Okay, for Zoom, it's now it's boom time, right?
Yeah,
They have
absolutely.
to put all their guns out. Okay,
Yeah.
they don't even need to market their product right now. All they
Uh-huh.
need to do is to make sure the infrastructure is right.
Uh-huh.
Uh, the biggest example of word of mouth promotion right now we can see is Zoom
Absolutely, absolutely.
globally.
Yeah. So Roy, let's actually take things into more detail here and understand. So what would your advice be around being innovative around these times? So do you think there is room for innovation? Try and come up with some newer ways of engaging with our customers. Bringing in that spark, that fire, that the organizations can actually portray, and come up with some creativity and out of the box sort of ideas.
Uh, the answer is simple. You have to.
Mm-hmm.
This is not normal time. Nobody has could predict this time,
Mm-hmm.
right? And if you want to survive in this post COVID situation, you have to innovate,
Mm-hmm.
or you have to shut your store.
Yep.
There's no middle ground. There's no middle ground,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, for example, there was okay, we can take the name. Say, for example, companies like Autodesk, okay, or Adobe,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, say for example, for Autodesk, their target market, say for example, in manufacturing sector, all the companies are closed,
Yes.
right? So they cannot right now look into sales. But does it mean that their engine should stop, or they should just realign the engine, the existing marketing engine, rather than selling, rather than to training? So for example, right now, this is normally their target audience is sitting in workshops, right?
Mm-hmm.
They don't have time, they're running their lead machines and everything. But right now they have a huge opportunity to actually go ahead, connect with them, train them.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time the industry reopens, the target market is already trained, they are into the market, right? And you have more scope to sell your products.
Absolutely.
So you make up for the losses that you have made right now, and then reap the benefit out of it.
So absolutely. So I mean, take this downtime as a time to sort of enable your own staff, get them equipped with the right skill sets, and give them more on their plate in terms of learning, and get them better equipped when things become back to normal. Yeah, is that what you're trying
Yeah,
to say?
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely correct. And see, uh, the government has given us time till third,
Mm-hmm.
so we anticipate that, but it is not going to end so well.
Mm-hmm.
Say for example, if this continues and
Mm-hmm.
you get a break of 2 to 3 days in
Mm-hmm.
between,
Mm-hmm.
how you are going to equip your team?
Yeah.
Do you have your team motivated enough to be in the place to help you out?
Mm-hmm.
Why, if say for example you have 20 people in your company, a
Mm-hmm.
small company, right? So so what are they doing right now? Are they talking about you in social media? Can they? Absolutely they can.
Yeah.
Are you incentivizing them for that?
So employee advocacy is what you're saying. It becomes very
Oh,
important.
very important today.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
important today. So, say for example, a company like say for example your company or any other
Mm-hmm.
company that has about 5,000, 10,000 employees
Mm-hmm.
in India, right? So just imagine those 5,000 people, if they
Mm-hmm.
share one post about the company, won't that be the trending topic of Twitter for that day?
Absolutely. Amplification will be immense. Yeah.
And that's a natural amplification, right?
Yes.
And these guys and everybody is talking about themselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I'm talking about my company,
Yeah.
and I have 5,000 people.
Yeah.
Why do I go and spend money on advertisements?
Yeah. So I think everything actually starts, within the organization. So I think organizations have to look within and figure out tactics and ways and means of how they can actually become a little more innovative. And for example, like you mentioned, employee advocacy becomes a very important play for organizations, and incentivizing people who can actually adopt employee advocacy. I think is actually a good way of maybe pushing out the brand equity of the organization. So I think the brand play also becomes very important, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Say, for example, you have 5,000 people in
Yeah.
the organization,
Yeah.
right? I pick up 500 people out of those
Mhm.
5,000
Mhm.
people.
Mhm.
Okay, those are SMEs,
Yeah.
or those who have the second level SMEs or the third level SMEs.
Yeah.
Okay, those who can write.
Yeah.
Why don't we incentivize them on writing on different topics,
Mhm.
on technical stuff, right?
Mhm.
On small little bit of content here and
Mhm.
there, and they start blogging. It's free. It
Mhm.
doesn't take more than 15-20 minutes to set
Yeah.
up a blog and start writing about something.
Mhm.
Okay, just imagine, in every single day you can generate 500
Mhm.
prints
Mhm.
in digital media, in the digital space,
Mhm.
and everything is linking back, connecting to the whole thing,
Mhm.
right? To the whole brand identity. You talk about SEO, you talk about SCM,
Yeah.
like you're done.
Yeah. So talking about SEO, I mean, web becomes the most vital platform for any type of organizations, right? So what would the SEO strategy, during these times really, look like?
uh, SEO is simple.
Yeah.
SEO is the most simplest thing that you can do. Okay, the best thing about SEO you can do is forget about Google.
Mhm.
Okay, and think about the target audience.
Mhm.
Okay, uh, answer me one thing. When was the okay? What normally SEO guys do? They, whenever you give them a topic or something, they go and they search on say any keyword research tool for the related keywords. They start writing stuff.
Mhm.
This is the most rudimentary step one they do.
Mhm.
Okay, now where is the user in that? Okay, I understand. Of course, those keywords are used by the users.
Mhm.
Okay, how many times do you see an SEO actually talking to the target audience, trying to understand what their question is,
Mhm.
right? How many organizations are actually running an open forum? Okay, see, SEO is nothing. There are two things of SEO. One is the short tail, one is the target keywords main, and one is the long tail,
Yep.
right? If you look at the bell curve, the focused most competitive keywords are about just about 20% to
Mhm.
30%,
Mhm.
right? And 70% of the content that of the searches that has you have no clue.
Mhm.
Nobody has any clue. This is such a long tail. Okay, one of the major areas is what brands I believe are missing today. They are not asking enough questions to the target audience.
Mhm.
Okay, this is more of a one-way channel. So for example, right now you will see a lot of companies are running hundreds of webinars.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay, the most important and most vital
Mhm.
thing that is happening today. But tell me one thing: how many of them actually went out to the target audience, okay, and asked them, boss, what would you like to learn?
Mhm. I
Right?
think, yeah, we're
If
failing there. Yep.
yeah, it's like a blue ocean strategy. We are
Yeah.
all living in a blue ocean. We are just throwing the net around
Yeah.
and waiting for somebody to take the bet,
Yeah.
and we are moving ahead.
Yeah.
Why that is the way? Why we are not going ahead and talking to them, at least a sample
Mhm.
study.
Yeah.
I am not talking about reaching to 5 million people. I am
Mhm.
talking about reach to 500 people.
Mhm.
Give them an option. These are the things that we are thinking to come up for the near future. What are the things that you would like to learn?
Mhm.
What are your pain points?
Yeah.
How can we help you?
Mhm.
Okay, so see, the whole idea here is the digital marketing has to change. This is not a mom and pop shop that
Mhm.
where the main objective for you is to sell, right?
Mhm.
This is not, and this is not the time for that. This
Yeah.
is not the time for you to sell your products.
Mhm.
Absolutely, there is no doubt on that. People, those who need your product will come and buy
Mhm.
uh, in time, right?
Yeah.
But this is the time when you go out and ask people, tell me, how can I help you? I'm here for you.
Yeah. It's about empathy, like you mentioned. Yeah.
This is the most critical thing.
Yeah.
Forget about sale. Sale will come eventually. It will
Yeah.
follow.
Yeah.
If product is good, it can support. The
Mhm.
sale will come. There is no doubt on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like you mentioned, webinar is actually becoming like a overused sort of a tactic. So, do you believe there is room for more improvisation, beyond a webinar? I know you spoke about employee advocacy. I know you spoke about a few other things around SEO, but do you think there is more improvisation that can actually come along? Maybe if you could share some tactics that you have in mind, which maybe our audience could learn from, or maybe do some research around and get more insights around that.
See, all the companies, one of the major reasons, say for example, let me talk about the infrastructure companies.
Hmm.
Okay, say for example, digital infrastructure
Hmm.
companies, say hosting companies,
Hmm.
or all other companies. So now, those who run digital teams, digital companies, hosting is one of their regular needs.
Hmm.
It is their, everything depends on that. Problem is, whoever has bought my solution so far, am I being able to support them
Hmm.
properly? I am answering one question to a customer, right? Okay, so support tickets are there, uh, uh, support tickets are being raised.
Hmm.
Now, what can I do? Those are real important questions that people are facing. Can I use this time to make a documentation out of it? There are hundreds of tools available right
Hmm.
now that will take that content and make a long list of documentation, right? Knowledge base, build up your knowledge base.
Hmm.
Why not, if you have the bandwidth, keep one person, you're doing webinars, right?
Yeah.
Perfect, no problem.
Hmm.
What if I keep my webinar platform open?
Hmm.
My office space
Hmm.
is there, okay, or the house space is there. I keep my web platform, my webinar platforms open. My
Hmm.
SMEs, one or two SMEs are always online on different topics. These are
Hmm.
the channels, right?
Yeah.
So anybody has a question,
Hmm.
anything, they can just log in at whatever time they want.
Absolutely. Okay. So you're
I
saying
can
an
do
always
it
on sort of a,
always on.
yeah. Hmm.
What does it take?
So
I
just
do.
like a
I
television channel is what you're saying.
correct,
Yeah.
correct. Hi, buddy. I have a problem with this one. Okay, let me just connect with this buddy.
Yeah. Yeah.
This guy's online here.
Yeah. Good one.
I'm
Good
just.
one.
This is a crazy one, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
There are so many other modalities that you have to
Yeah.
figure out
Yeah.
to reach to that position.
I think this is the first time I'm hearing this, so this is
Yeah,
this is nice. Yeah.
just imagine the
Hmm.
moment you can do that,
Hmm.
you set yourself apart from everybody else in the industry.
Hmm. So you've given me an idea now, so to think about. Yeah.
Yes, immediately you are doing that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Your SMEs, they are at at
Hmm.
any point they are online, right?
Hmm.
They are working from home. You are
Yeah.
working
Yeah.
from home.
Yeah.
So why not? Well, when I'm working from home, I
Hmm.
dedicate half an hour of my time
Hmm.
in a day
Hmm.
that I'll be available on this platform. You have any question, come and ask me. Rather than me going and preaching you about this topic,
Hmm.
you are open to come and ask me
A question.
anything that you
Yeah.
like,
Perfect.
and everybody else can listen.
Absolutely. Yeah. This is nice. This is good. I think if it's actually given a very programmatic, systematic approach, I think this will actually bring in a lot of knowledge sharing, a lot of awareness about what you're trying to sell, what you're trying to position, and in a way it'll actually help your brand equity to go up, and at the same time people actually get much in-depth analysis of what your organization is really trying to sell. So this is like really good.
See, one thing I believe, nobody cares about your product.
Hmm.
Everybody needs a solution to their problem.
Yeah.
And now all the brands, what they're doing is they're trying to sell their products
Hmm.
that nobody wants.
Yeah.
I see. I don't care about whether I am using Illustrator or I am using any other software
Hmm.
to
Hmm.
create. My objective is to create a design,
Yeah.
right? My
Hmm.
objective is to reach the target audience. I
Hmm.
don't care whether through Facebook or through
Hmm.
Google.
Hmm.
I'll pick and choose.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So the idea for any brand right now has to be the opposite way. That normal traditional method. See, I am so much of content is being generated today for a brand
Hmm.
to get a share of this one of my time
Hmm.
is almost like I can. So what I can right now, I can watch a movie. Why should I listen to your webinar? Which is more satisfying to me, watching a
Yeah.
movie, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
But if you are exactly trying to answer my exact problem,
Hmm. Then I would be very interested, of course. Yeah.
right? That's your pain.
Yeah.
Then you will shut down your TV and come and listen to me.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And it's simple. Just open up the channel.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, Roy, we spoke about B2B organizations, we spoke about larger organizations. Now, what about the strategies of small and mid-sized businesses and maybe, some startups? So, is there any sort of direction that you actually have in your mind which you can actually provide to the audience, which will sort of incite, or maybe bring in that element of thinking and, taking that strategy forward for such businesses?
I have a story to share.
Hmm.
Have you been to Calcutta?
Yes, I have.
So I'm a student of Jadavpur University, right? So
So,
that's my like once you are from Jadavpur, you
hmm.
are always from Jadavpur,
Hmm.
right? Anything is happening there, you always know about
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
So we had one person there who was he runs a small store outside the
Hmm.
campus, right? And in 6 months, he beat everybody else in that zone.
Hmm.
Okay, so he started selling Maggie.
Hmm.
Okay, everybody sells tea, that this, that, bun, butter,
Yeah,
egg, and everything.
yeah.
This guy started selling Maggie.
Hmm.
Simple, plain, simple Maggie. Maggie with an egg, Maggie with this, Maggie with that.
Hmm.
And he immediately in 3-4 months he's captured the whole market.
Hmm.
Okay. Now this pandemic happened.
Hmm.
His store is closed.
Hmm.
Rest of the people, what they're doing, they're gone home, they're sitting at home, they're doing everything. What this guy is doing now is in JU they have started one initiative. They have taken out the ground and they are cooking food
Hmm.
and distributing it among the those who need the food. Right, we go to the slum areas and all other places. This guy went ahead and joined the team.
Hmm.
Okay, so and he started cooking for everybody. Okay, now what is happening here is he is building the repo with everybody in the campus, his
Hmm.
target audience,
Hmm.
while everybody else is there sleeping at their home. He has joined a
Yeah.
social cause.
Hmm.
Okay, he has now everybody knows about him,
Hmm.
what he does, his
Hmm.
family, his everything, everybody from professors to students to everybody.
Hmm.
Okay, now and he's doing it silently.
Hmm.
He's just trying to do best to help others.
Hmm.
Okay, and he's building his brand equity.
Hmm.
He once everything is open, the shops reopen, where do you think people will go to
Absolutely to
eat
him.
their
Yeah.
food?
Yeah.
Right, that is it, that's it, that's all any organization needs to do today.
Yeah.
If you are not client faced, why what are the product, say for example you're a small IT company where
Hmm.
you have your you build up products or you build up services or solutions. Two things are there, one is services company, one is product based company, right? In IT small
Hmm.
teams, the services company, if you are helping your clients, you are staying afloat, superb,
Hmm.
keep floating right now.
Yeah.
Okay, if it is not happening and if you're planning to keep your team with you,
Hmm.
right, why don't you invest on products?
Yeah.
Why don't you take this time to build and release products? Why don't you build your equity on the web?
Hmm.
Right, what are your digital properties that you're building today?
Yeah.
Okay, if you already have a digital property where it is not selling right now in the
Hmm.
beta version, okay, this is a superb amazing time for
Hmm.
the to get the whole team together and build up on it.
Yeah.
Right, this is amazing time, this is
Yeah.
amazing time, I understand this is a bad time for the country, for humanity,
Yeah.
but this is an amazing opportunity for anybody
Yeah, so we
to
go with our
do
tagline,
something
which
amazing.
is yeah, we go with our tagline, which is adversity brings in,
It's
the
true,
opportunities, right? So I
it's
think
true.
everybody has to hop on to this moment and look for opportunities which they can actually seize on, which the competition is not really thinking about. And I think what better than the story that you actually spoke about? So being socially responsible, bringing in the aspect of empathy and joining people, joining hands, and maybe helping people out so that you actually indirectly build that brand reputation, build your personal eminence as well. And eventually when it actually ends, everybody's actually going to come to you, like you actually mentioned. So yeah,
It's
that's
true.
amazing.
Say
Great
for
story.
example, a lot of like we take a lot of interviews, right? We
Yeah,
Everybody looks for some to hire everybody.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Now we this is a digital space,
Mm-hmm,
right? So say for example, I'm trying to hire a developer.
mm-hmm.
Okay. So what I would want to see, I would want to see what he has done. What
Yeah.
is his digital footprint?
Mm-hmm,
Okay. Why not use this time to learn a new skill and to do something? See,
mm-hmm,
at the end of the day, I don't care whether he's a graduate, he's an
mm-hmm,
undergraduate, he's a
mm-hmm.
master's. I don't care,
Yeah,
as long as he can actually do the stuff that he claims he can do,
yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm,
You in Bangalore, uh, on an average, it takes 1 hour to commute to your office.
mm-hmm,
Okay, and 1 hour back, so
mm-hmm.
2 hours. At least today, if you're working from home, okay, you're at least saving 2 hours every day. What
Absolutely.
are you
Yeah.
doing with that 2 hours?
Yeah.
What are you doing with the 2 hours can actually
Mm-hmm,
set you apart from everybody else in your community, in your industry,
yeah.
in your hierarchy.
Mm-hmm. That's a great input, actually. To even I didn't really think about it in those lines. I think this is actually a great eye opener. I think for people who actually do that long commute, I think it's going to be a right step in the right direction if you actually pick a skill set up and start enabling yourself. So I think that is what Roy is actually trying to drive here. So
It's true.
yeah.
If you're watching Netflix, good for Netflix, not for you.
Absolutely, absolutely. So good, Roy.
Interesting times.
So yeah, interesting times. So maybe one final thought before you leave. Maybe some sort of a success mantra or some tidbits that you can actually provide to all of us here. Maybe a line or two on how we can sort of overcome these adverse situations and convert them into opportunities.
See, for me, the business plan has to be simple.
Hmm.
The destination, and the vehicle, you
Hmm.
don't really care about how a bus runs.
Hmm.
You don't really care about what are the engines or parts of a train. You
Hmm.
don't need to know that right
Hmm.
now to
Yeah.
reach from one destination to second destination,
Yeah.
right? So don't care about that much
Hmm.
right now at the start when you're planning how you're going to do something. Okay, first, there's the only one mantra right now is, if you know your target market, stick with them,
Hmm.
be with them, try to help them in every possible way, not just with your software. If possible, help them with every any other possible solution that
Yeah.
they may need.
Yeah.
Try to build up a human relationship.
Hmm.
It's like your next door neighbor,
Hmm.
or maybe you're the best friend. Try to be
Hmm.
the good friend with them today.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay, when the store opens, they will come back to you.
Hmm.
People does business with people. People don't do business with softwares,
Yeah.
with
I
or
agree.
organizations.
I agree. That's a wonderful thought, Roy. So thank you so much for joining the Firefly Adda. I think it was a great discussion that we actually had, and I'm pretty sure the audience here would actually, have a lot of insights to, take from this episode. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
having me, Kushan. Wish you best of luck.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.